Hey guys, welcome back. In today's video, we are talking about how AMC will 3x, how the shorts are done, how shorts are buying AMC back, and many more in this video. First, we had earnings out, and you can see AMC beats the EPS estimate and AMC beats sales. That's Adam Aron doing his job. So we obviously had the earnings come out today, and I advise everyone to obviously take a look. There are, of course, some stuff we have to look over and, really understand. Firstly, March was bad as expected, but April and May are double of last year, double. So this is the same level of pre-pandemic with half the releases. So if you take a look at this particular statement here, what it says is that the April 2025 industry-wide domestic box office was double that of April 2024. And so far in May, the box office again has been running at double the rate of a year ago. So we believe that any negative assertions drawn from the first quarter results about the movie theater industry are likely to be wrong. Adam Aron elaborated, the domestic box office is currently running at double of last year's demand, and just look at the movies that's being released. So that's what we have to understand. Firstly, we know that AMC has already beaten estimates. We know how AMC is operating. Then we understand that the box office currently for the first month and the second month of Q2 is of course doing exceptionally well. April is double, May is going at the rate of double. And so that's where we are at. And to top it all off, you can see AMC, the bear thesis is dead. 378 mil cash on the hand, double B blockbusters on way. So we know what AMC has with their cash, and this is obviously a good thing. Now, again, we've talked about the difference between AMC and GME. We talked about how they both have their pros and cons. Obviously, in this case, we talked about how AMC has clearly shown that the business structure is working. They have a fully and working business structure, but in the comparison to GME, we are obviously lacking on cash, but we have the business structure that GME doesn't. Again, this isn't to stir up any arguments. This is just looking at, exactly what it is and what AMC has, what GME has. Again, we're all here to obviously beat the shorts. And so what I am saying is that whilst GME doesn't have obviously a business structure like AMC, they do have more cash, and vice versa for AMC. And so if we were to see obviously the cash increase, that will put us in a even better position. Focus on the fact that I'm saying better is because we are already in a good position. Is that obviously by having more cash, it gives us more ability to do things, whether it is to make other investments like Bitcoin investments like GME, whether it's to pay off debt, whether to increase their current infrastructures, whether it's to pay dividends, so many things that AMC can do. But the very fact that we are seeing how they're improving as a company, the fact we understand how much money they're spending, how much money they have, and how much the box office is improving, that allows us to understand just exactly what is going on. And to further kind of conclude this, you can also see what Adam Aron has said. Adam Aron, CEO of AMC, commented, anyone trying to draw any conclusions about the success of or appeal of movie theaters from the results of the first quarter of 2025 is likely to be mistaken, because the industry-wide domestic box office in Q1 was, in our view, a distorting anomaly that has already corrected itself. We continue to believe that the movie-going demand for the balance of 2025 and all of 2026 will show great strength. Now, like we said, we've already warned everyone. We talked about what was to be expecting for Q1, obviously going from the things that has happened last year. And AMC has now shown is that this is how we are able to operate, even when we are faced with difficulties. Again, we beat estimates, and that's about understanding how we are above market expectations. And it's about showing how AMC obviously navigate themselves through difficulties like this, through situations like this. And so if we are able to do well when we were expected to do bad, then you can just imagine how well AMC will do when everything is already smooth sailing, which is what Q2 will be if we continue at the rate. Again, April is already very, very good. May is already good. And if we can end it off like how we are, and the end of June like how we are, then you can see how we are going to be in that perfect position. And that's how AMC will, of course, grow. That's what will encourage more and more people to obviously invest into AMC. And we're talking about the institutions. And that will just, again, talk about how shorts are panicking. Because when you take a look at what's going on, you can see a 1 year span comparing AMC and Cinemark. Same industry, same product. AMC earnings had above 1 billion, while Cinemark did not pass 1 billion even once. Both have almost the same debt, yet CNK is traded at $31 per share, while AMC is traded at 2.7 per share fair market. And when you take a look at the earnings and you take a look at the charts for AMC, you already see what's happening. So what you can see with the circle with the letter E inside is when earnings is at. And again, even if you just block out for a second, don't look at the symbols for a second, you'll know which one is Cinemark and you'll know which one's AMC. Now, I know there are some obvious giveaways, but when you just look at the chart, you see exactly what's going on. For Cinemark, every time they release their earnings, you can see how well their price went afterwards. You can see earnings, price goes up, earning, price goes up, earning, price goes up, earning, price goes up. When it hit the peak, obviously we then saw the turbulence that's happened, but you see what exactly is going on. Earnings, price is going up. When you take a look at AMC, earnings, price going down. Now, this particular spike was not to do with earnings. We talked about it back then. And so you can then see earnings, price going down, earnings, price going down, earnings, price going down. Now, bear in mind, we are in the same market. We are in a market where both AMC and Cinemark profit off of the same thing, the box office doing well. So if Cinemark were to go up, then by all means, so should AMC. The only difference is the rate at which we're going up. Now, if AMC was, a worse, a less company, a lesser fundamental in terms of their earnings, their financials, they're all worse than Cinemark, then what we can be looking at is Cinemark going up 10% and AMC only going up 3%. That should be the case. We should both be going up, but obviously one's higher and one's lower. Now, the thing is, AMC is a better company than Cinemark. The only difference is that AMC is retail owned, Cinemark is institutional owned. Secondly, AMC is bigger than Cinemark in terms of sheer size, and that's what we talked about. Yeah, AMC is not seeing that thing. And you have to bear in mind, it's also interesting that 3x on AMC's price would align it with Cinemark's market cap of 3.6 billion. So the reason why I mentioned this is about understanding that this is what we talked about with the potential, why people realize how undervalued AMC is. The reason why institutions buy into AMC is because they understand AMC should have gone with the market, just like Cinemark and any other stock that's in the industry. Now, the very fact that they didn't, the very fact that a company that's bigger than Cinemark is going down, whereas Cinemark is going up, it has a lower market cap than Cinemark, they know that it's undervalued. They know how much potential is there. They know that the ceiling is so high. And that's what we have to understand in terms about how AMC is being viewed as one of the best opportunities in terms of investments just because of where we are. Because we have to understand is that right now, the market standard is that we should at least be 3 times of where we are at with price. This is talking about market standards. This isn't even accounting for the fundamentals in terms of when you take in the PE, when you take in all of these other things into account, right? AMC will do so much better when all of that obviously hits. And you also have to understand in terms of when AMC actually sees real price, of course, what the market sentiment will feel like. That's everything to obviously consider. And this is why they're worried. So we talked about how institutions are buying because they know it's undervalued. Institutions are also buying because they know the mistakes that their fellow colleagues who are shorting have obviously made. You can see we were never wrong. Criminal short funds and market makers in cooperation with brokers have created quadrillions of synthetic/fake shares of AMC, and they will have to buy them back. Now, we know that the shorts will have to buy AMC back. We've talked about this. We talked about how, for those of you who don't believe that they colluded, you can obviously take a look at our previous videos. When you take a look at everyone that's in this, right? When you go all the way back and you talk about FTX, FTX obviously helped these short scale away by creating these tokens of AMC, and they've admitted that themselves as well. We've also seen how brokers have obviously helped shorts, have helped institutions by obviously giving them synthetic shares and by mismarking it. So we've seen how more shares were given out than there was in their actual database and there was actually in their backlog. We've seen that with MMTLP, we've seen that with many others, and so that's also another example. We've also seen how we talked about regulations have said that they've viewed, certain things as a honest mistake made by these short sellers, when we know that clearly isn't the case. So you have to understand, we know that they've been working together. However, the only problem for them is that even though they are working together, it doesn't actually remove the problem. Remember, all of these tokens that they have created of AMC still exist. All of these synthetic shares of AMC that they have created still exist. They have never covered. They've only hidden it away. But by hiding away, that doesn't do its job. And so that's where AMC will obviously, rip. That's when they'll have to buy AMC back. And that's what they're scared of. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. I'll catch you guys next time.